Good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Heather Rodriguez. I will be your judge today for initial appearances. Here's what's going to happen. When your name is called, I'm going to ask you to come up. I'm going to tell you what you've been charged with and what your bond has been set at. I have reviewed all the filings for today. I have reviewed the affidavits of arrest. I will go ahead and enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf for you for purposes of today's hearing. If you are still in custody, I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you on a temporary basis because you are currently being detained. If you later decide to get a private attorney, you can certainly do that, and they'll do a substitution of counsel. And I will also confirm your bond amount. Counsel for defense, if there's any time that you need to raise an issue related to probable cause, please let me know. And then I'm also going to ask PTR to feel free to interrupt me if there's something I've missed. With that, let's go ahead and put introductions on the record for the remainder of these cases in Osceola County. Counsel for the state, if you'll announce yourself for the record.
Heidi Pozek on behalf of the state.
Counsel for the defense.
Evelyn Jimenez on behalf of the defendants, Your Honor.
Thank you. And representative from PTR.
Officer Pat Hill on behalf of PTR.
Thank you very much. We're first going to start off with Sydney Ward.
Your Honor, the defendant wishes to waive the reading of the charges.
Very well. Is the defendant there?
Yes, Your Honor, approaching, he's in the
Okay.
box.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Hey, how you doing, Your Honor? My name is Sidney Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. All right, it's my understanding your
Yes, ma'am.
bond has been set at $1,500. I understand you do not qualify for PTR, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Bond will remain as previously set. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hugo, sorry, I'm having trouble reading the handwriting. Hugo Arejo Rodriguez. And
This is
then,
Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
okay, do we have our interpreter available? All right, we're gonna set those aside for just a second while we wait for the interpreter. What about Felix Aviles Martinez? Are we able to proceed with that one?
He speaks English, Your Honor.
Very well. After that, we'll be handling Jose Caraballo. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Good morning. Felix Abel Martinez.
Thank you, sir. You've been charged with a first-degree misdemeanor of obstruction of public streets without a permit. It's my understanding that you do not qualify for PTR. Is that correct?
Ask for ROR.
Your Honor,
Your Honor, he has previously been found permanently incompetent. The charge does qualify for direct PTR. However, it may be a better fit to have him ROR due to his difficulty to make the payments and the fees for the phone system and make the phone calls that's required to be supervised by PTR.
Any objection from the state?
There's no objection from the state, Your Honor.
Very well, we'll ROR at this time. Good luck to you, sir. All right, I understand that Mr. Caraballo requires an interpreter, so we'll move on to
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it Leberly?
Yes, Your Honor, but she also requests, need the assistance of the interpreter.
How about Christina Durakis?
She's approaching, Your Honor.
And then after that, Tyler Fighter. Good morning, ma'am. What's your name?
Christina Durakis.
All right. Ma'am, it's my understanding that you have been charged with a DUI but that you do qualify for PTR, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
That's correct, Your Honor. She has no prior arrest.
Very well. Court will order PTR with all standard terms and conditions. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, if the defense may request for ROR in this case, she has no previous history, and there's, based on the fact that she doesn't have criminal history, we're asking for the court to consider ROR.
State, do you have anything to add?
Your Honor, state would object to ROR. We would be fine with straight PTR, and that's just due to the nature of the charge and potential danger to the public.
I concur. It is a DUI with an accident and property damage, so the court will order PTR. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Tyler Fider. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Tyler Fighter, good morning.
All right, good morning. It's my understanding that you've been charged with violation of a domestic violence injunction, and does he qualify for PTR?
He qualifies for bond with PTR due to the nature of the charge.
Any objection from the state?
No objection from the state, Your Honor.
All right, bond will be set at $250 along with the PTR requirements. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, man. Have a great one.
Ryan Gritzmacher,
He bonded, Your Honor.
Jason Stanton,
How you doing, man?
what's your name, sir?
Jason Staten.
I'm sorry I mispronounced that, Mr. Staten. All right, it's my understanding that you've been charged with a first-degree misdemeanor of battery. It had a domestic violence element to it, and therefore you did not qualify for bond without coming to see me. I understand that he qualifies for bond with PTR, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Counsel for the state?
No objection from the state for bond with PTR, Your Honor.
All right, bond will be set at $250 with the PTR requirement. Good luck to you, sir. All right, let's go ahead and see if we have our Spanish interpreter available for the remainder of our cases.
Your Honor, will you be ordering no contact on Jason Staten's case?
Yes, there is a no contact order. He can return to the premises one time with law enforcement to retrieve his things. Thank you for catching that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Fighter already has a no contact order. That would be the injunction. He just has to follow it. All right, so we have 3 cases left that require a Spanish interpreter. I don't have a Spanish interpreter available yet. So we're going to start some cases in Orange County and then come back to you. I'm very sorry for the delay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Orange County. I'm going on the record at this time. This is Judge Rodriguez. We are here for initial appearances. These instructions will apply for all the cases that we're going to hear this morning. For purposes of initial appearances, I'm going to call the defendants one by one. I will inform them of what they're charged with. I have reviewed all the affidavits. I have found probable cause. However, counsel for defense, if you disagree with me, please let me know. I won't take offense. And let me know if there are any issues that I need to be aware of. I will go ahead and enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of all the defendants, and I will go ahead and appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent them because they are currently incarcerated, and then we'll make a decision regarding the bond amount. If it does involve a domestic violence, the court is going to put a no contact order in place, and that will include no contact with the alleged victim and allowing the defendant to return one time with law enforcement to retrieve his or her items. If you need it to be a non-hostile contact, please let me know. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and start with Christopher Whitaker. Sir, if you'll go ahead and state your name for the record.
Christopher Whitaker.
All right. It is my understanding that Mr. Whitaker has been charged with battery with 2 prior batteries, and his bond was set at $1,500. It's also my understanding that he's out on bond in case number 2019 CF 13245. In that particular case, he was arrested on September 18th and bonded out on October 28th. So it appears that this is a new law offense that he's been arrested on. Therefore, his bond in that case is going to be revoked, and he can address that with his regular judge, and his bond will remain as previously set in this case. Take care, Mr. Whitaker. Hazel Carla Rayburn.
It's Rayburn, yes ma'am, no R.
Thank you, sorry about
No
that.
problem. Yes,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
ma'am, what's your full legal name?
Hazel Carla Rayburn.
All right, Ms. Rabin. You have been charged in case number 2019 CF 15548 with burglary of a dwelling. Your bond was set at $25,000.
That is bullshit. I did not steal anything. May I talk to the Honor, Ms. Honor? I'm sorry, Your Honor, for cursing.
Ma'am.
But that, I have not stolen
Ma'am,
anything.
Ma'am,
Let
ma'am,
me talk to the judge,
Ma'am.
please.
Hold on, it's better if you let her talk first.
Yes,
and
yes,
then-
Your Honor.
And then she'll let you talk.
Yes, Your Honor.
all right,
Yes, Your Honor.
do me a favor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's take a deep breath. Let's take one more. All right. Everything that happens here in this courtroom is being recorded.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything you say can and will be used against you by law enforcement and the state attorney's office.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you may mistakenly
Have
say
been charged?
say something that may hurt your case.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
could
Your
end
Honor.
up making your situation much worse.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please understand that this is not the trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Today is only initial
Can I
appearance.
please ask
Ma'am,
what I am being accused of
Ma'am.
burglarizing and what
Ma'am.
exactly I was stolen and
Ma'am.
who exactly is saying that I stole something? Because this is,
I can let you know that, but she hasn't finished talking.
okay, Your Honor, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Well, thank you for that. This is your last warning. If you interrupt me again, I'm going to determine that you're not competent to proceed with today's hearing, and you'll have to come back tomorrow, okay? Ma'am, the purposes of today's hearing is just to announce the charges against you and to determine your bond. Today is not your trial. The court is not determining guilt or innocence today. In fact, as a matter of law, you stand before this court as an innocent person. I'm not making that decision today. This is just the beginning of what's going to be a very long process.
What am I being accused of? What am I being charged with? What is this? What
The court
am I being
finds that
accused
she's
of
not competent to
burglarizing?
proceed with
I
today's
didn't-
You're
hearing.
gonna have to relax.
Reset for tomorrow. Do you think you can set some time up to talk with her, counsel? Have you already met with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And
Hey,
Your,
good-
I'm sorry, Your Honor, if I may just jump in. I just wanted to make sure for the record, I don't believe the council has announced their names for the procedures in Orange County
Thank you. I
today.
appreciate you doing that. Can you go ahead and state your name?
Marie Taylor on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
And Heidi Pozek on behalf of the state.
All right, thank you. All right, so what is your name?
Emily Green.
All right. It's my understanding that you've been charged with battery, dating violence due to the nature of the charge. There is no bond set at this time. Does she qualify for PTR?
No, Your Honor, she does not.
Okay.
And she's just heard,
I'm sorry?
yeah, no, she does not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Counsel for the state, do you have any objection to a bond?
Your Honor, we do not have an objection to a bond being set. We would also just bring to the court's attention that there is also a violation of probation.
Thank you. All right. Bond will be set at $250 in case number 2019 MM9081. In case number 2016 CF2358, she has 2 VOPs coming from Seminole County. Her bond in those cases has been set at no bond, and it will remain so until it's addressed by that court. Good luck to you, ma'am. Raymond Salcedo.
Okay.
I go to probation in Orange County.
Yeah, even so, you still have other lives back to send, if that's where it originated. Yeah.
All right. So anytime that she doesn't say it, it's automatic, no contact.
Oh, this is saying that you have no contact with the person who's happy with.
You're supposed to be here.
Yeah, he probably came yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I didn't come to court
Yeah.
yesterday. Then they told him it was at 1 today, so he's not even here.
If he shows up, they'll call you back.
He will show up.
Okay.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Raymond Salcedo.
All right, Mr. Salcedo. In case number 2019 CF15594, you've been charged with 8 counts. The first, possession of cocaine, your bond was set at 1,000. The second, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, your bond was set at 1,000. The third, again, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, your bond was set at 1,000. The fourth, the same, your bond was set at 1,000. The fifth, the same, your bond was set at 1,000. The sixth, the same, your bond was set at 1,000. The seventh, possession of marijuana not more than 20 grams, and your bond was set at $250. And then the last one was possession or use of drug equipment, your bond was set at $500. It's my understanding that you are out on bond in case number 2019 CF12553, in which you were arrested on September 4th, 2019, and bonded out that same day, and you were arrested in these new charges on November 9th. For that reason, the court's not going to make any changes to your current bond amounts, and I will go ahead and revoke your bond in the other case, and that can be determined by your regular judge. Good luck to you, sir.
And, Your Honor, I would just note for the court that the case where he is out on bond, the state has not filed formal charges. And so he will have to be released on a 40-day motion since they haven't filed.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Good luck to you, sir. Stephen Ethier?
No. No. We'll revoke your other bond. I'll let your attorney know.
Good morning. What's your name, sir?
Stephen Ethier.
Okay, Mr. Ethier. All right, it's my understanding that you are currently charged with a DUI with damage to property or person of another. And that's in case number 2019 CT8225. Your bond was set at $500. You also have case number 2019 CF1716, in which you were arrested on May 13th, 2019, and bonded out on June 3rd, 2019. Your bond in that case is revoked because this is allegedly a new law offense. That can be addressed by your regular trial judge, and your bond will remain the same in the DUI case. Good luck to you, sir. Seth Minnick? Minach? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll let your other attorney know. That way.
Good morning. What's your name?
Seth Meenick.
All right, Mr. Minnick, you've been charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, and your bond has been set at $500. Does he qualify for PTR?
He did not, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, if the state may be heard
Yes.
briefly, even though the defendant does not qualify for PTR, our office believes this charge should be eligible for ROR.
Very well. Good luck to you, sir.
Get released.
Yep.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care. Michael Eugene Black? Mr. Black? Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Michael Black.
Hi, Mr. Black. You've been charged in a new case with disorderly conduct. Your bond has been set at $250. I also understand that you're out on bond in case number 2017 CF 1555. I note that his regular attorney is Mr. Spencer. Is there anything I need to be aware of for this case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Black has previously been adjudicated incompetent to proceed. And so at this point, he's just undergoing competency status hearings, and he's on conditional release.
State?
If I may just have a moment, Your Honor.
You have your attorney's file? I'll write it down for you.
You write down for me? Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I do see that his next competency status hearing is set for December the 12th. However, the defendant has had a previous violation of community control, and it does look like in his previous history that he does have convictions for battery and assault. And the charge on the 2017 CF 1555 case is for battery on a law enforcement officer as well as resisting without violence. We would be asking for conditional release to be revoked.
Your Honor, if I could be heard briefly, I understand Mr. Black's previous criminal history and the state's concerns. However, at this point, I believe Your Honor has to release Mr. Black based on the statute and based on the case law that governs incompetency to proceed. Mr. Black is on conditional release, and I think it's up to Judge Young in the trial division to determine whether his conditional release should be revoked. But at this point, since he's here for what's essentially panhandling, I'm just asking the court to release him on his own recognizance as to that case and let Judge Young decide what the best course of action is.
So the disorderly conduct that he is charged with in this case is panhandling and walking into the road.
Yes, ma'am.
The court will go ahead
Yes,
and
ma'am.
reduce that bond from $500 to ROR. The court will take no action on his bond in case number 2017 CF 1555. Just because I'm not taking action on it, though, doesn't mean that Judge Young is not going to take action on it.
Okay.
And he may decide to revoke it. So make sure you pay
Yes,
attention
ma'am.
to your court dates and you show up when Mr. Spencer tells you to show up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Yes,
take
ma'am.
care.
Judge, if I could just have 10 more seconds to write Mr. Spencer's phone number down for Mr. Black.
Are we able to proceed on our Spanish?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm sorry to interrupt. The Spanish interpreter's on the line.
Give him a call.
Thank
okay?
you. Have you been sworn today?
Not yet, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and swear you in. We're going to take a quick break in our Orange County hit cases and handle our 3 Spanish Osceola cases at this time. Yes, we'll go ahead and handle that too. Good thought.
Do you solemnly swear to translate from Spanish to English, from English to Spanish, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Alan Figueroa, State Certified Spanish Code Interpreter.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Figueroa. It's good to hear your voice. This is Judge Rodriguez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, the first case we have is 2019 CF 15596, Jonathan Santiago Lopez Castro. Sir, could you go ahead and state your name for the record?
Jonathan Santiago López Castro.
Jonathan Santiago Lopez Castro.
Así es.
Counsel for defense, do you wish to waive a reading of the charges?
Sure, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, based on those charges, his bond has been set at no bond. Counsel for the state?
Your Honor, while these charges are not punishable by life, and I believe the bond schedule does have the first appearance judge set bonds, we would ask the court to take into account the number of the charges alleged against the defendant as well as the nature of them.
What degree felony is it?
You don't have to say anything.
If I may have just a moment, Your Honor, I believe they are first-degree felonies, but I do want to double check. They're all second. As to counts 1 through 5, those are second-degree felonies. And as to the rest of the charges, Your Honor, they are second-degree felonies.
All right. Bond will be set at $15,000 as to count 1, and then $1,000 for each count thereafter. The court will put a no-contact order in place. The defendant cannot have any contact with the alleged victim or members of her immediate family. Do they reside together? To the extent they reside together, I don't want you to have to say anything on the record. To the extent they reside together, he cannot return to the residence. He can go one time with law enforcement to retrieve his things. Anything else we need to go over?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Take care, sir. All right, we're going to turn to our 3 Osceola Spanish cases now that we have an interpreter. Give me one moment. Good morning. We should be back on the record in Osceola with our 3 Spanish cases. First, I have Felix Aviles Martinez.
That case was already called, Your Honor. I think it's Hugo Araujo Rodriguez.
Thank you. Sir, if you'll come on up. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Buenos días, señor. Dígame su nombre.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Hugo Alberto Araujo Rodríguez.
Good morning. My name is Hugo Alberto Aranjo Rodriguez.
All right, sir, you've been charged with a first-degree battery,
Señor, se le acusa de agresión física en primer grado,
And your bond was set at no bond because it related to domestic violence allegations.
Ya que es una acusación de violencia doméstica, no se emitirá ninguna fianza.
It's my understanding that PTR has recommended PTR with bond, is that correct?
That's
Se me ha hecho
correct, Your
enten-
Honor, and he has no prior arrest.
Se me ha hecho entender que la libertad provisional ha recomendado las condiciones de libertad provisional con fianza, ¿correcto? Sí, su señoría, él no tiene ningún arresto previo ni antecedentes.
Court's gonna go ahead and set bond in the amount of $250 with PTR.
Se fijará la fianza en $250 con condiciones de libertad provisional.
He cannot have any contact directly or indirectly with the alleged victim in this matter.
Se le prohíbe el contacto, ya sea directa o indirectamente, con la supuesta víctima en este caso.
If they continue to reside together, he can go one time with law enforcement to retrieve his things.
Si vivían juntos, usted puede regresar a la residencia una sola vez junto a las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Buena suerte.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias.
What's the next one you have, counsel?
Jose Caraballo.
Very well. Good morning, sir. What is your name?
Buenos días, señor. Dígame su
Mi nombre
nombre.
es José Caraballo.
My name is
Buenos
José
días.
Caraballo
Mi nombre es
Caraballo.
José Caraballo.
Good morning.
Sir, you'll have to take a break between talking and listening to allow the translator the opportunity to translate.
Señor, cuando hable, después de hablar, toma una pausa para escuchar, para permitirle al intérprete poder interpretar todo bien.
Sí.
Yes.
All right, sir, it's my understanding that you have been charged with a second-degree misdemeanor of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Bien, señor. Se me ha hecho entender que se le ha acusado de conducir sin licencia válida, lo cual es una falta de segundo grado.
You were arrested for these charges on November 9th,
Usted fue arrestado el 9 de noviembre por este cargo
and your bond was set at $500.
y la fianza se había fijado en $500.
It's also my understanding that you are out on bond in 2 other cases.
También se me ha hecho entender que usted se encuentra en libertad bajo fianza en 2 casos más.
Actually, let me correct that, one other case,
Perdón, voy a corregir un solo caso.
and that's 2019 CF 2515.
Y ese es el 2019 CF 2515.
It's my understanding you were released on ROR in that case on July 16th, 2019.
Se me ha hecho entender que el 16 de julio de este año a usted se le permitió la libertad bajo palabra en este caso.
PTR, what is your recommendation?
He does not qualify for PTR due to the legal constraint. However, his ROR status release was due to the 33-day rule.
Un
They
momento.
released him on July 16th, and then the state filed on August 2nd. So it's
No
your
worry, Your Honor.
discretion whether you want to take action or not.
Don't worry, Your Honor, I was able to take notes. Él no reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional. La libertad bajo palabra había sido emitida dada la regla de los 33 días. Él no reúne los requisitos para ello, así que quedaría a la discreción del juzgado qué acción tomar en ese caso.
So what was the recommendation again? One moment, please allow for the translation.
¿Cuál fue la recomendación entonces?
He does not qualify for PTR, and it's up to the court's discretion as to the action taken on the case he's ROR'd on.
Él no reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional, así que queda a la discreción del juzgado para tomar una decisión con respecto al caso en que se encuentra libertad bajo palabra, que fue radicado en agosto.
State, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. As to the current case on the charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, the state would be recommending ROR. As to the previous case, we'll leave that up to the court's discretion.
Fiscalía, ¿algo que opinar? Sí, su señoría. Ante el caso que nos encontramos aquí de conducir sin licencia, la Fiscalía recomienda libertad bajo palabra. Ante el caso previo, eso lo dejaremos a discreción del juzgado.
Defense?
One moment, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. We have no statement for the court.
Defensa, ¿algo que
Libre
opinar? No, su
albedrío.
señoría. Lo dejaremos a discreción del juzgado.
Okay, at the state's request, the court will go ahead and order ROR with respect to the new law violations, alleged violations.
Bien. Con respecto al caso vigente, se emitirá la libertad bajo palabra.
PTR would, as to the 2019 CF 2155 case, looking at that case history, he was supposed to be in trial with Judge Morgan on October 28th.
Ante el caso 19CF2155, estoy viendo el historial, el archivo, y él se suponía que hubiese tenido caso con el juez Morgan en octubre 28.
The case was continued because the defense wasn't sufficiently prepared for trial.
El caso fue aplazado porque la defensa no estaba debidamente preparada para el caso.
And a new trial date was set for January.
Y una nueva fecha de juicio se emitió para enero.
Since he violated effectively Judge Morgan's orders, I think it's more appropriate for Judge Morgan to make the decision on his bond.
Ya que él incumplió con la regla que había establecido el juez Morgan, creo que es debido y lo apropiado que el juez Morgan sea quien determine la fianza, si determinará alguna.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Your Honor, if the defendant is going to be left zero bond on the 19 CF 2515, we will request, one moment. Your Honor, is the request of the defense that instead of being released on ROR, it will remain on the $500 bond? On his case, based on the fact that if he's set at zero, it will not be accruing time if he's released ROR.
Very well.
Su señoría, quisiéramos pedir que se mantenga la fianza en $500 tal cual en vez de emitirle la libertad bajo palabra, ya que si no se emite fianza, él no estaría acumulando entonces el tiempo cumplido. Muy bien.
Good luck to
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Your Honor.
Buena suerte. All right, Leberly Joserius Gonzalez. All right, good morning, ma'am. What is your name?
Buenos días, señora. Dígame su nombre.
Leverly Dos Reyes González.
Levedy. ¿Me lo repite, por favor?
Leverly Dos Reis González.
Leverly Dos Reis González.
Ma'am, it's my understanding you've been charged with a first-degree misdemeanor of battery, domestic violence.
Señora, se le acusa de una falta de primer grado de agresión física en violencia doméstica.
Due to the nature of the charges, your bond was set at no bond because it involves domestic violence.
Dada la naturaleza de los cargos, no se le emitió ninguna fianza ya que es violencia doméstica.
It's my understanding from PTR that she qualifies for bond and PTR, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. She has no prior arrest.
Se me ha hecho entender de parte del Departamento de Libertad Provisional que ella reúne los requisitos para fianza y para libertad provisional, ¿correcto? Eso es correcto, su señor.
Very well.
Ella no tiene antecedentes.
Very well. Bond will be set at $250 with the requirement of PTR.
Bien, se fijará la fianza en $250 con las condiciones de libertad provisional.
And the court will also put a no contact order in place.
También se emitirá una orden de prohibición de contacto.
Your Honor, if I may be heard, the defendant and the alleged victim work both at Disney, and will the court be able to make a determination of no hostile contact while working?
Su señoría, si pudiera decir algo, la víctima, la supuesta víctima y la acusada ambas se encontraban en Disney, pudiera pedir que se emita una orden de prohibición de contacto hostil mientras estén trabajando.
Disney's a big
Ambas
place.
trabajan en, I know, Your Honor, but both of them work at the same location on the same shift, and that's why the defense is asking for a no hostile contact while on the premises of the employment.
The only exception then will be no hostile contact.
Disney es un lugar muy grande, yo sé, su señoría, pero ambas trabajan en el mismo sitio, en el mismo horario, por eso quisiéramos pedir una prohibición de contacto hostil. Bien, entonces la única condición será cero contacto hostil.
But, and that's only at work.
Y eso será solamente en el trabajo.
Otherwise, it's no contact.
De ahí en fuera es cero
Thank you.
contacto.
She can go back to the residence if they share one together, one time with law enforcement to retrieve her things.
Si ellas residen juntas, ella podrá regresar una sola vez junto a las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
Bona suerte.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I believe that that concludes all of our Osceola County matters this morning.
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
Thank you. Will I see you tomorrow?
Thank you. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Have any other Spanish interpreter cases? All right, Mr. Figueroa, we made it easy for you this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
The case that I have turned to the side, he speaks Arabic, but he understands English. He just needs you to speak slowly.
Okay. I have Onisimo Arriaga. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Onesimo Arriaga.
All right, Mr. Arriaga, you're currently being held on a violation of probation. Your judge in that case set your bond at $1,000, and it will remain that way. Good luck to you, sir. All right, we're now moving on to our felony domestic violence cases. Sir, could you state your name?
Clarence Solomon.
All right, sir, you've been charged in 2 counts. The first, aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic violence. Your bond was set at no bond due to the nature of the offense, and also tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement. Again, your bond was set at no bond.
He does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
He qualifies for PTR?
Yes.
Straight PTR or PTR with a bond?
He qualifies for a straight PTR, Your Honor.
Counsel for the state, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state would be objecting to straight PTR even though the defendant does qualify, and that's due not only to the nature of the charges, but as well as the defendant's out-of-state history. which includes failures to appear as well as robbery, and robbery displays what appears to be a firearm.
Court will go ahead and set bond in the amount of $1,000 as to count 1. And $100 is to count 2, with the requirement of PTR. There will be no contact with the alleged victim whatsoever, directly or indirectly. If you all reside together, you can go back one time with law enforcement to retrieve your personal items. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Sir, what's your name? All right, sir, you've been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon involving domestic violence. Due to the domestic violence nature of the allegations, your bond was set at no bond. Does he qualify for PTR?
He does not, Your Honor.
State, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, just briefly, Your Honor. The state would just direct the court's attention to the fact that the defendant is classified as a violent felony offender of special concern, and there are also previous convictions for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon of a domestic violence nature, even though that was with a different victim. And I would also ask the court to place a condition with regards to this defendant that he not have any weapons in his possession while released.
I have nothing to add for the court, Your Honor.
Given the nature of the allegations, bond's going to be set at $5,000 as to count 1 with a no contact order in place and no possession of weapons.
No. You go for your view.
Mr. Mejia?
Okay, for this charge, I got bond.
Thank
You
you.
for this charge, but not for your view.
Matthew Chantelet? Good morning, sir. What's your full legal name?
Matthew Allen Shotty.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. All right, sir, you've been charged with possession of heroin. Your bond was set at $1,000 in that case. And then battery, domestic violence, and due to the domestic violence nature in that case, your bond was set at no bond. Does he qualify for PTR?
He does not, Your Honor.
Counsel for the state?
Your Honor, the state would only bring to the court's attention that the defendant does have a previous conviction for battery and also a previous conviction for a violation of a PTR condition with relation to domestic violence case.
The victim is here, Your Honor. She's out there. She's out.
Oh, she's out there. You want to bring her in? All right, good morning, ma'am. What is your name?
She's in the out-of-county section, Your Honor.
Counsel for the defense and the state, if you'll please approach.
Okay.
Ma'am, what was your name again? Yes, we found you. All right. All right, ma'am, you have an out-of-county warrant that was issued. Your judge in that case set your bond at no bond, and it's going to remain so in that case. In the, Mr., help me out again.
Oh, your name again.
Matthew Allen Shotty.
Shati. In Mr. Shatik's case, we were determining the terms of the no contact order for the allegations regarding a domestic violence battery. Ma'am, do you have any concerns about your safety and well-being if you had any contact with him? Ma'am, my question to you was, do you have any concerns about your safety and well-being when you're around him? Okay, then the court will go ahead and set that at a no hostile contact. That means there can't be any type of yelling, threatening, hitting, shoving, pushing, anything like that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Question.
Could you do me a favor? It's not that I don't want to hear it. It's that protecting your constitutional rights is more important. And so if you could ask that question to your attorney, and if it's a legal issue she needs me to be aware of, she will let me know. Best of luck, guys. All done.
Thank you.
I think I said 250. Oh, no. Yes, count one stays at a.
And Your Honor, just to clarify with that case, what was the bond for count 2 set at?
250 with a no hostile contact. All right, Emmanuel Williams.
Emmanuel Williams.
Good morning,
10986.
sir.
Good morning.
All right, sir, you have 3 charges against you in case number 2019 CF 15615. The first is false imprisonment, domestic violence. Because it was domestic violence, your bond was set at no bond. Count 2, battery, domestic violence, again, no bond. And count 3, grand theft in the 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. Your bond was set at $150 in that case. I see that there's someone that wishes to be heard. Madam Clerk, if you'll go ahead and swear in the witness.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you announce your name for the record?
Vishael Williams.
All right, Ms. Williams, what would you like the court to know for purposes of the bond hearing today? Understanding today is not the trial. Court's not making any determinations regarding guilt or innocence at this time. What do you want me to know for purposes of the bond hearing?
I do ask that he is allowed to be released, only because we do have a daughter in the NICU who's being released this week, and also he just started a new employment. So it's just concerning those things that I do desire to happen.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel for the state, do you have any questions for the witness?
I do, Your Honor. Ma'am, I just have a couple of questions for you. Has anything like this ever happened in the past?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
No, ma'am.
If the defendant were to be released today, do you have any fear that he would cause injury to your person?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any fear that he would endanger the safety of your daughter?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, if anything of a domestic violence in nature occurred in the future, would you contact emergency services?
Yes, I would.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, if the state may be heard briefly,
Yes.
we would just point out to the court's attention that the defendant does have a previous conviction for robbery with a firearm, previous conviction for battery, as well as possession of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon.
Ma'am, do you all live together?
Ma'am.
Do you live together?
Yes.
What's giving me pause is the safety of your sweet baby that you're bringing home. Even if your baby is not a victim of domestic violence, if she is surrounded by that happening around her, it will permanently alter her brain and her development. It will increase, according to the ACEs report, it will increase the chances of her growing up with a substance abuse addiction, with mental health issues. It will also put her at a higher risk of suicide. And she's more likely to enter into a similar type of relationship that she sees going on around her. Oprah Winfrey did a great little segment on the news about the ACEs program, the ACEs study, if you want to look into that. What's really scary is that they have discovered that being around violence like that as a baby can permanently alter your cells of your body and can make your child more likely to die early of cancer. This is a big deal for your baby. I will go ahead and grant your request, but it's with the understanding that you are going to protect your baby. And if there's any type of violence going on in the home, you are going to call 911 because you love your baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right, court will go ahead and grant your request. The bond will be set in the amount of $250 as to count 1 and $250 as to count 2. And bond will be reduced to $100 in count 3. There will be a no hostile contact order in place. Sir, that means that you are not allowed to, even if you're frustrated, you're not allowed to yell, threaten, or intimidate anyone with your words or your actions or your tone. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Take care of that baby.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Jessica Youngblood.
Jessica Youngblood.
Good morning, ma'am. You are here on a charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon because there is a domestic violence allegation. Your bond was set at no bond. Does she qualify for PTR?
She did not, Your Honor.
Counsel for the state, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, just briefly, Your Honor. While the defendant does not seem to have any previous history, the facts of this case seem to be a bit of a dangerous or egregious nature. We would be asking that bond be set, however, with a condition that the defendant not possess any weapons or have any contact with the victim.
PTR, is mental health PTR an option?
It would have to be a bond or a mental health. They'll evaluate her when they get back from the holiday break.
All right, bond will be set in count 1 at $1,000. Or alternatively, mental health PTR. As a requirement of her release, whether it's by bond or mental health PTR, she must take all required medications and follow up on all medical appointments. Good luck to you.
And, Your Honor, will there be an order as to no possession of weapons by the defendant?
Yes, no possession of weapons, no contact, no return to the residence. All right, it's my understanding now that we're moving on to misdemeanor domestic violence cases. Sir, what's your name?
Luis Jimenez.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, you have been charged with battery domestic violence due to the nature of the charges. Your bond was set at no bond. I see that there's someone that wishes to be heard. We're going to go ahead and swear you in at this time, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Vanessa Rathi.
All right, ma'am. Understanding that this is the bond hearing, not the trial, what would you like me to know in considering the bond amount, if any?
I would like to declare if Lewis can go to a batterer's intervention program.
So again, this is not the trial, this is the bond. Sentencing someone to a batterer's intervention program would be the result of having the trial or a plea agreement. That's an end result. We're at the beginning of the process.
Okay.
So why don't we do this? I'm going to ask the state attorney if they have any questions for you.
Okay.
Ma'am, I just have a few questions for you. Do you and the defendant currently live together?
Yes, we do.
Has anything like this ever happened in the past?
No, this is the first time I called.
Do you have any children living with you?
Yes, I do.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
No.
Do you have any concerns with your children's safety with regards to the defendant?
No, I do not.
Ma'am, do you desire contact with the defendant?
Yes.
Ma'am, do you have any concerns as to your safety if the defendant were to be released today?
No, I do not.
Ma'am, if anything were to happen in the future that was of a domestic and violence nature, would you contact emergency services?
Yes, I would.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
And he does qualify for PTR.
Court will go ahead and set bond in the amount of $100 plus PTR, and the court's going to put a no hostile contact provision in place. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Jamal Jerome Lahayani. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Good morning, Jamal Lahiani.
All right, sir, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. Because of the nature of the charges, your bond was set at no bond. I see that there are two witnesses that would like to be heard. We'll go ahead and swear them in at this time.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm just here as counsel for her.
I'm sorry?
I'm just here. She asked me to come along as counsel for her, so she's going to testify. I'm just here with her as counsel.
Can you announce yourself for the record?
Mohammed Suraj Sohail.
Thank you. And you're her attorney in this case?
Yes.
Are there any related actions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, what is your name?
Asme.
What's your full name?
ASMAE. Last name AKHARRAZ.
Thank you. All right, counsel for the state, do you have any questions for the witness?
I do, Your Honor, just briefly. Ma'am, do you and the defendant live together?
Yes.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
Yes, but I never called.
How many times has this happened in the past?
I can say 4 times.
4 times?
Yes.
Do you have any children together?
No.
Ma'am, do you desire contact with the defendant?
No.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
I mean, I forgave him so many times, and each time he say, "I'm sorry, I won't do that," but he did it twice, and for the 3rd time and the 4th time. So I'm not sure if he's gonna do it again or no. So I prefer to be away from each other.
Are you afraid for your safety?
Yes.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
None, Your Honor.
All right, does he qualify for PTR?
He does, Your Honor, yes.
All right, at this point, the court's going to go ahead and set bond in the amount of $500 with the requirement of PTR. There will be a no contact order in place. That means you cannot have any contact directly or indirectly with the alleged victim in this matter. That means you cannot call her on the phone, you cannot send her an email or a text, you cannot attempt to contact her through the internet or social media, and you can't pass messages to her through third parties, mutual friends or acquaintances, or even complete strangers. Is that understood?
Yes.
Very well. To the extent that you reside together, you can go back to the residence one time with law enforcement to retrieve some of your personal belongings. Good luck to you. Take care.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. What is your name? All right, sir. It's my understanding that you have been charged with battery, domestic violence. Because the charge involves domestic violence, your bond was set at no bond. I see there's a witness who wants to be heard, so we'll go ahead and swear her in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Can you state your name for the record?
Brooke Mansfield,
How do you spell your last name?
Mansfield.
Thank you. All right, counsel for the state, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Ma'am, I just have a few questions for you. Do you and the defendant currently reside together?
We did, but he took his stuff.
So you, at this point, no longer live together?
He took his stuff the night that it happened.
Has anything like this ever happened in the past?
No.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
Yes.
Do you desire any contact with the defendant? And do you have any children together?
No.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Defense?
None, Your Honor.
I understand that he qualifies for PTR, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
All right, bond will be set at, Did somebody say something? All right, bond will be set at $250 with a no contact order in place. That'll be $250 plus PTR with a no contact order. And if he's left anything behind that constitutes essential personal items, he can go back one time with law enforcement to retrieve them. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you.
Your Honor, for Mr. Salah, I'm noting here that he has no criminal history, no prior arrests. Will the court consider doing just straight PTR in lieu of the added $250?
State?
Your Honor, the state would be objecting to straight PTR. This is classified as a dangerous crime under the pretrial detention statute, and we would be asking that a bond be set.
Court's gonna stick with its original ruling. All right, it's my understanding now that we're moving on to our felony non-DV cases. Carlos Bayona. Good morning, sir. What's
Good
your
morning.
name?
Carlos Juan Bayona Jr.
All right, sir, I have two cases for you, no, three cases for you. The first case is case number 2019 CF 15609. In that case, you have been charged with possession of cocaine and your bond was set at $1,000. In count 2, you were charged with tampering with physical evidence. Your bond was set at $1,000. And count 3, possession of cannabis, your bond was set at $250. And actually, the other ones relate to somebody else. So I only have one case for him, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good thing that paperclip was wrong. All right. Does he qualify for PTR?
He does not, Your Honor.
The court's inclined to leave bond as previously set. Is there anything I need to know?
Your Honor, it looks like he wasn't interviewed for PTR.
He was later.
Oh, he later was?
Yeah.
Do we have a reason why he didn't qualify?
High RA score, no verifiable community ties, not stably housed, you couldn't provide an address, not employed, no ties to community.
I'd just be asking for ROR on the possession of cannabis and to stay the bonds on the counts 1 and 2.
Very well. 3 only, yeah. All right, sir, what's your name?
Giuseppe Carbone.
All right, sir, I have two cases for you. In case number 1, you've been charged with possession of a controlled substance. Your bond was set at $1,000 in that case, and then you've also been charged in the other case with driving while license suspended, a subsequent offense, and your bond was set at $500. Does he qualify for PTR?
He did not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, bond will remain as previously set. Good luck to you, sir. Jacqueline Cooks. What is your name?
Jackie L. Cooks.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cooks, I mispronounced your name. All right, I understand that you have been charged with burglary of a conveyance. Your bond was set at $3,500. Count 2, criminal mischief. Your bond was set at $150. And count 3, petty theft. Your bond was set at $150. You were arrested for these offenses on November 9th, 2019. Prior to that, you were out on, and it looks like the alleged incident occurred on October 14th, 2019. Prior to that, you were arrested in case number 2019 CF 7748 on September 22nd, 2019, and released on bond on September 27th, 2019. Because these are new law violations that have been alleged, the court's going to revoke your bond in case number 2019 CF 7748, and your bond will remain as previously set in the other cases. Good luck to you, sir. Jawara Edmonds.
You're all set.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Jawara Edmonds.
All right, Mr. Edmonds, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and your bond was set at $2,500. And in count 2, you were charged with battery, and your bond was set at $100. I'm sorry.
And he did qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
State, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. State would be objecting to straight PTR just due to the nature of these offenses because they are of a violent nature. We would also point to the court's attention that the defendant does have a previous conviction for carrying of a concealed firearm.
Defense?
Your Honor, outside of those convictions, I'm not seeing a lot of criminal history for Mr. Edmonds. So I'd just be asking that the court follow PTR's recommendation. PTR was able to verify his employment status and that he had ties to the Orlando area.
Very well, the court will follow the recommendation of PTR. Good luck to you, sir. Juan Gomez.
You just get released.
Oh, and no return to the scene of the alleged incident. And do not possess any weapons. Good morning. What is your name?
Juan Gomez.
All right, sir. You've been charged with 3 counts. The first is battery on a law enforcement officer. Your bond was set at $2,500. Count 2, resisting an officer without violence. Your bond was set at $100. And count 3, trespass on property after warning. Does he qualify for PTR?
He does not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, court's gonna go ahead and keep bond as previously set in this matter. Good luck to you, sir. Robert Rivera. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Good morning, Judge. Robert Elliott Rivera.
All right, Mr. Rivera, you've been charged with attempted first-degree murder. Based on the nature of the charges, there was no bond set. Counsel, is there anything I need to know?
I do have an argument for bond, Your Honor, if you'd like us to do that at this time. Would the court allow Mr. Rivera to be sworn in and give brief testimony? Or should I just give his?
Why don't you proffer on his behalf, and if he needs to add something, we'll move that way, just in an abundance of caution.
Sure. Your Honor, so Mr. Rivera has ties to the community. He's been in Orlando at the same address for 5 years. He is on the lease agreement at that address. He has a business called Garden Colors Painting, which is a member of the West Orange Chamber of Commerce. He does have family obligations, and his mother's coming from New York to Florida so that he can take care of her. She's arriving within the next couple days, and she's currently in the hospital and is going to be receiving medical care down here. He has family ties in the area, which consist of a brother and a sister, but unless he's able to post bond in this case, he's not going to be able to take care of his mother.
State?
Yes, Your Honors. State would be asking that the bond remain as no bond. This is a punishable by life offense. Due to the nature of the charge, we would be asking the court to follow the bond schedule and to leave the bond as no bond.
And Your Honor, just briefly, I would add that in reference to this offense, although it does come in as no bond, the state has to prove that, to Your Honor, that proof of guilt is evident or the presumption of guilt is great. Based on just the affidavit alone without any sworn testimony from the victim or any detail outside the bare bones allegations, I don't believe that they have proven that guilt is evident or that the presumption of guilt is great. And additionally, even if Your Honor does find that standard is met, Your Honor does have the discretion under the case law to grant bond anyway.
Given the nature and severity of the allegations, the court's inclined to set bond at $50,000, but there will be no return to the residence. He may go one time with law enforcement to retrieve his things, so if he was planning on caring for his mother at that residence, he's going to have to come up with some other arrangements. As a condition of his bond, he may not own or possess any weapons.
Your Honor, if law enforcement determines that the victim is not residing at the residence when they go for that one time, is the court going to allow Mr. Rivera to
So to the
remain?
extent they still reside in the same residence, because according to the police affidavit, they're roommates. This isn't county court landlord-tenant action, so I'm not gonna determine that civil issue between the parties, but if the other party's in the house, he can't be in there.
Understood.
And he can resolve that through a county court action. I know that that's inconvenient and takes a while, but I have to be respectful of everyone's contractual rights, including the landlord's.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, we would be asking for a no contact order with the victim.
Yes. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right, Robert Robertson. What's your full name?
First name is Little, last name Robertson.
Okay. All right, sir, I have two cases for you. And the first one, which is 2019 CF 15504, you have been charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling. Your bond was set at $25,000. Count 2, burglary of a dwelling, your bond was set at $5,000. And count 3, grand theft in the third degree, your bond was set at $1,000. And count 4, petty theft, your bond was set at $1,000. I also have case number 2019 CF 15463. In that case, you were charged with burglary of a dwelling, your bond was set at $10,000. And in count 2, petty theft, your bond was set at $150. Your bondles will remain as previously set. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, if I could just be heard briefly, as to count 1 on the first case, it appears to have been set at $25,000, which the court just said, but in this case, it looks like the underlying facts have to do with a theft from someone's porch. Not trying to undermine the fact that this is criminal conduct, but as far as burglaries of a dwelling are concerned, I don't know that this conduct particularly justifies a bond that's 5 times the scheduled amount. The scheduled amount is $5,000, so I'd just be asking that both counts be set in that amount.
Any objection from the state?
Your Honor, without litigating the merits of the case or really getting into the details of case law with regards to dwellings, porches, have been considered to be curtilage and are part of dwellings. So we, as far as the amount is concerned, we'll leave that up to the court's discretion, but ask the court to keep that in mind.
Court's going to keep the bond as previously set by Judge Murphy. You can address this with the merits with his regular trial judge. Good luck to you. Good morning, ma'am. What's your name?
Shannon Fry.
All right, Ms. Fry. I understand that you are here pursuant to a capias that was issued for your failure to appear at pretrial in case 2019 MM 8417. Your regular judge in that case set the bond amount for PTR.
Yeah, she's just here because when we were running her history, we found that she was out on bond. So
Okay.
that just needs to be addressed. She can be left on, at the PTR per the warrant.
Okay,
The out on
and then
bond
she
just
also
needs to be
has case number 2019 CF80, is that?
18.
18, okay,
Yeah, that's
thank
what
you.
she's out on bond on, Your
Her
Honor.
bond amount in that case is $2,500. That, she was arrested in that case on June 3rd, 2019, and released on June 4th, 2019, and it looks like the capias was issued by her regular judge on November 8th, so it's unclear. I guess the new law offense would be after she was on bond. Is that correct, State?
If I may just have a moment, Your Honor, I want to go ahead and look up the case.
So the fact that she was out on bond in another
That is
case
correct, Your
when
Honor.
she missed her pretrial in November gives the court pause. So I'm gonna go ahead and revoke her bond in the other case and let her regular judge deal with that. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, would the court be inclined to, I see that on the felony where she's out on bond, she has court on the 13th. And I know, and again on the 21st, I know that Judge Harris requires defendants to be present on the 21st. Would Your Honor be inclined to take no action on the bond and leave it up to Judge Harris as to whether she wants to do a revocation?
Can I take no action? I mean, she would already. She doesn't know whether she be or not.
And Your Honor, if
No.
the state maybe just heard briefly, we would just point out that we already have a failure to appear here, and we do have a hearing coming up, as defense counsel stated, on the 13th. I think, you know, as far as already having a failure to appear, should give the court pause to not revoke the bond in the felony case.
I'm gonna revoke the bond. Judge Harris can always reinstate it if she deems it appropriate. Good luck to you. Thank you.
And you mean the PTR on the warrant, right, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ma'am, what's your name?
Carla Alberti.
All right, Miss Alberti. You have been, you're currently being detained because of a DUI, driving while under the influence. Your bond was set at $500. Does she qualify for PTR?
She did not, Your Honor.
Your bond will remain as previously set. Good luck to you, ma'am. All right, sir, what's your name?
Miguel Angel Agudelo.
All right, sir, you've been charged with petty theft of $100 or more. Your bond was set at $500. Does he qualify for PTR?
He did not, Your Honor.
Your bond will remain as previously set. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Matthew Alcime.
All right, sir. You are here on a new charge of possession of cannabis. Your bond was set at $500, and that's in case number 2019 MM9103. But you also have case number 2019 CF6476. In that case, you were arrested on May 5th, 2019, and you bonded out in the amount of $16,000 that same day. It looks like these new charges were picked up on November 9th. If that's the case, it would be a violation of your original bond. So your bond in that case is revoked, and your bond will remain the same in the new law offense.
Briefly be heard. For this case, we would actually be entering a no information notice for the new law offense of the possession of cannabis. If we could do that in open court, if Your Honor would like. In the alternative, if the court is not inclined to take our no information notice in open court, we would be asking for ROR on the new case.
On the new case?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well. How does that impact the other case?
Well, Your Honor, based on the nature of the new law offense and the fact that the state, which I very much appreciate, is acknowledging that their office has a policy of not prosecuting cannabis cases, I just ask Your Honor to take no action on the out on bond case.
Very well, the court takes no action on that. Take care, sir.
So you're good. You'll be released.
John Wesley Epps? All right.
No, you just get released.
Sir, you are here on the charge of petty theft retail. Your bond has been set in the amount of $250. It looks like that this alleged event occurred on November 9th. You're also out on bond in case number 2019 MM8329. In that particular case, you were arrested on October 11th, 2019, and bonded out on October 14th, 2019, in the amount of $600. The court is inclined to keep your bond as set in the new case, and your bond is revoked in the other case for your regular judge to deal with. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, based on the fact that the state hasn't filed an information on the out on bond case, would the court be inclined to reset a new bond, double the amount of the original?
Not at this time.
So, and are we appointing the public defender on both cases?
Yes.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
But you have no bond, right?
Devontae Robbins.
She revoked it.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Devontae Robbins.
All right, Mr. Robbins, you are here on petty theft retail as well. Your bond in that case was set at $250, and that's from an event that allegedly transpired on November 9th. It looks like at the time this happened, you were out on bond in case number 2019 CF14336. In that case, you were arrested on October 11th, 2019, and released on bond in the amount of, it looks like $1,100 on October 18th, 2019. Based on all that, the court's inclined to go ahead and keep your bond as it was set in the new law offense and revoke your bond in the other case, and you can address that with your trial court judge. And actually, Madam Clerk's advising me that there's one more case. I announced your new charges in 2019 MM9109. You also have a similar charge for petty theft retail in case number 2019 9110, and that alleged event also occurred on November 9th. Your bond in that case was set at $250, and it will remain so. Good luck to you, sir.
And Your Honor, I would just be making the same request as the last person on the out on bond case. Based on the fact that the state has not filed a formal information, and based on Rule 3.134, where a defendant shall be released if the state has not filed charges within 40 days, I would just be asking Your Honor to take no action or, in the alternative, to set a new bond.
And Your Honor, just on behalf of the state, looking at the 2019 CF 14336, that case, the defendant was arrested on October the 11th. As it comes down to when the defendant needs to be released after the state does not file an information, that is usually after the 33rd day. We have not reached that point as of yet.
We just disagree on how the language of the rule is to be interpreted, but I just wanted to lay my record.
Okay. The court's original ruling will remain. Good luck to you, sir. Michael Taylor?
Court for that case.
Thor Tigner?
Bond it out, Your Honor.
Danny Womack?
We have here.
Gregory Brooks?
He's in medical, Your Honor. We set the 24 hours after we got to the hospital.
Edward Starcher? Good morning. No, good afternoon, sir. All right. You're being held on an out-of-county warrant. Your judge in that case sets your bond at $6,000, and the court will honor that. Does he have two, or just, do I have two copies of it?
Just one, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, sir. Florence Davis? Brian Moore? Byron Moore?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Byron Moore.
All right, Mr. Moore, you've been charged with disorderly conduct. Your bond has been set at $250. Does he qualify for PTR?
He does not, Your Honor.
Defense, anything you want me to know?
I'm sorry I could not hear you.
She was talking to me, that's okay. Your Honor, it appears as though Mr. Taylor's been previously adjudicated incompetent to proceed. Based on that finding, which would have been in 2019 MM004427 AO, I would just ask the court to take no action on the on conditional release case.
This is more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not Taylor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Davis is mental health, Your Honor. I forgot.
Thank you.
Well, I don't have more.
She's not representing me, ma'am.
I don't have anything at this point, Your Honor.
Do you need paperwork for Mr. Moore?
She does not represent.
I'd appreciate it. It seems like I don't have him on my list.
Sir, understand it's not the attorney's fault if she didn't receive the paperwork. So give her a second to get the paperwork, because I think if you talk to her, we might be able to take care of this today.
Begging your pardon.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Sounds like something bad's about to happen if you already have to ask for my pardon.
No, ma'am, it is not like that at all. Mine is a minor incident involving a City of Orlando ordinance. I think the matter can be dealt with forthwith.
Would you want me to?
Yes.
Your Honor, it sounds like
That's where I was headed to, but I wanted him to be able to talk to you before we did that. You need to have the advice of counsel before we do that. So I'm trying to get her the paperwork so that you can take care of it today. You and I have the same goal. Hmm?
Your Honor, Mr. Moore would like to enter a no contest plea at this time.
Okay. All right, sir, how do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct?
No contest.
Very well. How long has he been here?
I've been here 2 days.
2 days.
All right. Court will go ahead and sentence him to credit for time served, and I'll give him 1 year to pay for court costs. Good luck to you, sir.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, ma'am.
Sir, you are sentenced to credit for time served, and you have 1 year to pay court costs. Good
Yes,
luck to
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And we said Florence Davis refused?
No, mental health, Your Honor.
Mental health. I believe that that concludes our docket this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we were due that after yesterday. Let's keep it up for tomorrow, okay? Are there any papers you need me to sign, or are you done with them?
Was mental health or he refused?
You are amazing.
Ms. Taylor?